I'm here today at the house of Chloe Reynolds, and Chloe's going to tell you a little bit about why I've come here today and why these two very special young children here and their big sister are a miracle. So I'll talk to Chloe now. Now, tell us a little bit about these two miracle babies and why they're miracle babies and why we're here today.
So basically, I fell pregnant in the April, and in May 2010 I found out that I was having twins. And basically what happened was I went for an ultrasound, and they said, which was quite a shock considering we already had a 6-month-old baby. Basically they went, "Oh, you're having twins." And basically I almost had a heart attack and fell off the table, but they made us wait outside because they weren't very happy, so we waited outside for 45 minutes. And they asked me to come back in 2 weeks' time because they thought they could have been conjoined. So 2 weeks later we've gone back to the hospital, and again they said, "We think they might be conjoined." So they said, "Maybe you should go away and think about what you want to do if they're conjoined." So we did. We went back for another scan in 2 weeks' time, and they found out, thankfully, they weren't conjoined. They were called mono-amniotic twins, which means that their egg split so late in the sac that they'd formed in the same sac where normal identical twins share the same placenta. They shared the same. They usually have two different sacs, where because they had formed so late, they had formed in the same sac, which is extremely dangerous because they have the ability to hold on to each other's cords, get entangled in it, and basically they're able to cut off the oxygen and the food supply to the other twin, which basically only gave them 50% survival rate. And because we're not in America they have extreme fetal monitoring. Here in England, because we have the NHS and it's not private, we don't get the ability to go inpatient, which is where at 24 weeks you go in and they monitor you constantly, where here you don't get that chance. So basically they had 50% survival rate, and even though they had 50% survival rate, because we don't have the aggressive fetal monitoring, we don't have that opportunity here in the UK, they didn't think that they would survive that and that I should consider a medical termination. They'll give me 2 weeks to think about it, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about it. So I woke up one morning, as silly as it sounds, and I said, "You know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to let nature take its course." And basically the world has a plan for me, and I'm not going to disrupt that path. So if obviously I didn't want my babies to die, but if they were to die, then that would be nature's way of telling me that it was never meant to happen. I wasn't going to go to the hospital and tell them to do it. So with that, I went to the hospital 2 weeks later and asked to change my consultant, and I wanted to carry on with the pregnancy, although they advised me not to. So I did it. They took me in for scans every 2 weeks to be able to monitor their cords to see if they were getting wrapped around each other's necks, or their cords were wrapping around, or they had their hands on each other's cords. As you can imagine, all the different potential dangers. I didn't have a choice that if I wanted to carry on with this pregnancy, that they'd be born at 32 weeks. So at 32 weeks they were born. You can't have a natural birth with twins because the endanger of the cords, because if one twin comes out holding the other twin will die. So it was a C-section. They were born 2 minutes apart, and basically they were rushed straight to NICU, and they were there for 22 days and came home on Christmas Day. So it's really, really nice.
It went on a little bit further. The main reason that we're here today isn't necessarily about the wonderful story, though it is a wonderful story of a great happy ending, as you said. The fact is, you got this beautiful tattoo done on your arm by a very good friend, and you put it on Facebook, and something amazing happened. Tell us a little bit more about that.
About a month ago, I went to my friend Jeff Customs from Restless Soul Tattoo, and he did this beautiful tattoo. And basically I'm so proud of it that I went onto a Facebook page called Tattooed Parents, and I posted it on there and explained why I got my tattoo, as all the other parents did in America and wherever. And basically within hours it went viral. I wasn't expecting this. And I remember being on the phone to my friend Holly, and I said to her, I've got 450 likes. This is madness. Well, before I went to bed at 10 o'clock, there was 90,000. I couldn't believe it. I was overwhelmed by so many positive comments. So I was plagued with friend requests. I had messages left, right and centre. I got messages from Brazil, Australia, America, Hawaii. It was complete madness. I just couldn't believe it, but I was happy that somehow I changed the world in a way, and I've informed 250,000 people what Momo twins are, which necessarily not that amount of people would have never known what it was. Such a rare occurrence. It only happens in 1 in 60,000 pregnancies, and that's twin pregnancies, so it's basically unheard of. And the doctors in the UK don't have the right resources to be able to deal with Momo parents. And the amount of lovely comments, and I just couldn't believe it just spread so quickly, and I wasn't expecting it. It just happened. I received a message from a guy in Ohio, I can't remember his name, but he said to me, "Are you aware you've gone viral?" I was like, "Really?" It's official, is it? And I was like,
it's amazing.
It's an amazing, and I'm just happy that I was able to show so many people around the world what this rare type of twin is. And then maybe there's so many people in the world, if they were told to get a medical termination, to have the strength to say no and to go on and not do it.
You do feel that it is, saying that, you did get a lot of negative comments as well.
Yes, I did.
And you are quite aware that a lot of people probably feel that you took the wrong decision, but at the end of the day, it is personal preference. It's your body, and it was your children.
Exactly.
And if you had taken the option to have them terminated, look at them. They wouldn't be here today.
Exactly.
Did you fear about the alternative?
I knew,
because they told you that the babies could be disabled if one may not survive.
Also,
was you ready for that?
Well, also considering I got blood clot on the lung, I was around 26, no sorry, I don't know how many weeks I was, but it was just at the time that the babies were forming their features. They didn't know if the babies had done with forming their features, but I had to have a cancer treatment called gamma rays radiography, and they told me that there was a chance that the twins could be mutilated from there. But I had to have this, the gamma rays, to be able to continue with the pregnancy. So I did it because I had to. So I had it in my head that there was going to be something wrong when they came out. And do you know what? It was a nice surprise that they were perfectly, well, obviously they weren't perfectly healthy because they were 32 weeks, but they were completely normal. And I would have loved them whether they did have an arm or not have an arm, or I would have loved them no matter what.
Yeah, you took that physical choice, didn't you? That physical decision to say, I'll take them as they come.
Yes, exactly. And whether they needed looking after for the rest of their life, I would have done it. They're my children, and
I mean, they're absolutely amazing, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them, is there?
No.
Apart from the fact that they are slightly on the small side.
Yep.
That can come from any birth at 40 odd weeks.
Exactly.
So, but they are absolutely gorgeous. They're fully formed and quite intelligent and very articulate. Now, obviously, it's wonderful that the picture went. It is great that you've educated so many people on this Momo's pregnancy. Never heard of it. Has anybody out there ever heard of this? I never knew that it even existed. It's absolutely amazing that you've educated people, and obviously got people together as well that you say are out there, been told that they are having a Momo pregnancy, and have been told and advised, like you were, quite adamantly, you need a termination, whereas you totally took the step back and said, actually, no, I'm not going.
I want to say as well, it wasn't just me that saved the twins. I want to also, it was my consultant as well. My consultant was really good. Once I changed my consultant, Shamila, her name is, she was excellent. She did anything she could to help me, and she was just amazing in every way. I can't express my...
Red Hill Hospital?
Red Hill, yeah. She was so lovely, and even to this day she still remembers who I am, because obviously it's such a rare pregnancy, and we keep trying to go into the hospital to see her, and we keep missing her. So if you're out there, hello.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, we're really, really pleased and honoured to meet them as well. They're really lovely